Making tomato sauce from scratch is a really easy thing to do with an incredibly rewarding payoff. Not only is it much cheaper than the stuff you buy in a jar, but you know exactly what's going in it and you can customize it to your preferences. It's a versatile thing to have on hand at all times because it's useful in a pizza sauce or a pasta sauce. You can use it for eggplant or chicken parmesan. It's a great filling in toasted sandwiches, or you can use it to dip your sandwiches in. It's really good for shakshuka and makes a great base for a curry. There's nothing stopping you from putting it in a blender or using a stick blender and making a nice smooth sauce that you can bottle up. Apparently San Marzano tomatoes are best for this type of thing, but unfortunately for me, my local supermarket doesn't stock them. Besides, I get really good results with these guys anyway, and they're also half the price. The most important thing is to check the ingredient list. We're aiming for as close to 100% tomatoes as possible because we want to start with a blank canvas. Fresh tomatoes are a totally valid option too, especially if you have a garden full of them. The reason I opt for canned is because there is way less admin involved. When using fresh tomatoes, you need to core, score, blanch for about 30 seconds, peel them, and then squeeze out the seeds for the optimum texture. I'm okay with a rustic sauce, but skins and seeds just have no place here. Extra little tip, if you squeeze the tomatoes submerged in a bowl of water, the seeds don't go flying everywhere, ruining your beautiful white shirt. I'm starting with olive oil on a medium-high heat in a cast iron Dutch oven. A stainless steel pot will work too, but I find you need to stir a bit more frequently to prevent sticking and burning. Then cut up and throw some vegetables in. I'm going plain and simple this time around with just some onion and garlic, but feel free to clean out the fridge here. Carrot, celery, capsicum, chili, zucchini and mushrooms all work really well. Remember, these are all guidelines, not rules, just trust your taste buds. The size of the dice or the kaplunk of these veggie chunks is at your discretion too. Just keep it consistent and it'll cook evenly. I throw the garlic in after about 5 minutes, otherwise it burns if it goes in with the rest. Give that a few more minutes and then you can start getting creative. Again, I'm going quite vanilla here with just a pinch of dried oregano, basil and chili flakes. I threw a couple of anchovy fillets in there as well to add some umami. Don't be afraid of the fishy taste, it ends up being literally like a drop in the ocean. If you want to use fresh herbs, put them in about 5 to 10 minutes before the end so they maintain their flavour. If you need more inspiration, just have a look at the ingredient list on your old favourite jarred sauce that you used to buy at the store. Next, a good tablespoonish sized squirt of tomato paste and cook until it's not fire engine red anymore. The natural sugars and the glutamates in the paste love this caramelization, which will intensify the rich, savoury and umami flavours we're going for in the sauce. Deglaze with something wet and scrape all that fond off the bottom of the pan. I usually use an acid like red wine vinegar, but if you've got some leftover wine that works too. You could even use beef, chicken or vegetable stock for a more savoury sauce. Then in with the tomatoes. I've used 2 cans and swilled each with water to get every last drop of puree. The water eventually evaporates, so don't worry about it diluting the sauce too much. I also threw in the couple of fresh tomatoes I peeled earlier in the video because I wasn't going to let them go to waste. Season with salt, pepper, and if you want, add a bit of sugar to balance out the acidity. Now this is one you definitely want to keep tasting and adjusting the seasoning. And if you're not sure if it needs more salt, try a spoonful straight out of the pot, then try another spoonful with a small pinch of salt on it and see which one tastes better. Just remember to blow on it and let it cool, or you won't be tasting anything for a while. Now just let it cook on medium-low, stirring every 5 or 10 minutes and making sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan and burning. Going back to what I said earlier about it being a great base for a curry, instead of all those dried herbs earlier, you could throw in a mixture of ground coriander, cumin, turmeric and garam masala and make a beautiful curry. Add a couple of chicken thighs while the tomatoes are reducing, spoon it over some rice, throw some fresh herbs on top, and dinner is served. I let this one cook for about an hour and I got a nice thick, rich and flavourful sauce. Ladle your hard work sloppily into a sterile jar and it's good in the fridge for about a month. It doesn't usually last long enough in my house to go bad though. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. And Domio, if you're watching, I'm coming for you, boy.